everyone, I'm CeeCee and welcome to my first ever Donna Downey's Artist Gang video of 2015. I'm so very happy to be part of this artist gang, and for my first project I decided to do a canvas to decorate my new studio. My canvas is quite large, it's 16 by 20, and my first color is teal, so this is golden fluid acrylics mixed up with some gesso. And this is going to help me give it that pastel hue to the color. I'm finger painting because I like to get messy, and I also like to feel the paint under my fingers. It's a great way to know where my texture is going. I wanted a lot of texture for this canvas. My second color is Indian yellow hue, and again I'm repeating the same process with the gesso, blending it out and giving it that lighter, softer yellow. Next, I'm going over with a baby wipe just to create even more texture and also to blend the two colors together without mixing them up too much. And this is the texture I got. As you can see, I've left some streaks as well from my finger painting because I like a good contrast of texture. It just makes the whole thing so interesting. I'm adding a little bit more gesso over the yellow before it dries to lighten it up again, and then I decided to dry it completely and add some white over the top, and then I was able to get that yellow that I was after. Again, taking my baby wipe and sort of removing the gesso a little bit to reveal that yellow underneath. Now comes the stenciling part, which is my favorite part. This is the heart texture, and I'm spouncing with a foam applicator with some Payne's gray. And here is my other stencil that I'm going to be using with fiber paste. In hindsight, I should have probably used light molding paste or modeling paste, depending on the brand that you're using. And you'll see why in a minute. But I really like the texture that I got from this, but fiber paste is very prickly, for lack of a better term. So I'll leave it at that for now. And I'm taking a brush with the fluorescent magenta. These are the stems for the flowers that I'm going to add to create more movement towards the top, because everything right now is kind of centered and at the bottom. I'm finger painting some flowers, but I'm going to add some stuff over that. I'm using extra heavy gel on top of the flowers because I'm gonna create little nests with white tulle, as you can see me doing that here, and the extra heavy gel is going to really hold that tulle down properly. Of course, you need to allow some time for the gel to dry. It might take a little bit of time. I don't recommend that you use a heat tool to heat set all that because it's going to shrink the tool, although it might be a fun look as well, but this is not what I was going for here. I'm adding glass bead gel in the middle of the flowers to create some more dimension. While this is drying, I'm going to glaze over the quote, and I'm mixing phthalo turquoise with glazing liquid. This is the satin to create that glaze, and I'm going to brush that over my quote. In hindsight, I should have used another medium instead of the fiber paste because the fiber paste is very rough in texture and it's very difficult to go over with a baby wipe to remove that. I let that set for about a minute before I started removing the glazing, but I persevered and I got it. Unfortunately, the lettering is very small, so it was very difficult for me to read everything. So I'm going to place the stencil over the letters, and since this is dimensional, it is very easy for me. Each of the letters fit right over the previous ones, and I'm going over the whole thing again with fiber paste. And this time around, when I remove the stencil, you'll see that you can easily read the quote, and you can still see the glazing in the background. I'm going around the whole thing, this time with white paint. This is not gesso, this is white paint. I just wanted to give it a frame with rounded edges. To paint the flowers, I'm going to be using two fluorescent colors, magenta and pink. And I'm going to mix a little bit of water with the paint and a paintbrush, making sure that I cover all the nooks and crannies. I've also used a pipette with some water to help the paint go down inside of the flowers. And while I have the paint out, I'm going to dot 2 of the circles inside the heart, just to bring that color down a little bit more to balance everything out. And here's the gorgeous fluorescent pink. I'm going to use it with a palette knife over the raised areas of the flower to give it that highlight that it needed. And of course, a third dot with my pinky. So here's how I dried the flowers. I used a hairdryer on the cool setting instead of a heat tool. That way I did not melt anything and it dried. For balance as well, I'm going to add a little pop of fluorescent pink at the bottom corner, pink and magenta with a baby wipe, just to balance everything out. I'm also adding extra bead gel in the center of the flowers and letting that dry very thoroughly. And I'm done. At the end of this video, you'll find a full list of supplies as well as photos. I'm going to try and do my Vanna white. Ooh, It looks good there, but it's going to go opposite of me. So I hope that you've enjoyed this start to finish. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to post them in the comments section below. And subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. We also have a Facebook group. It's called Artist Gang. So click the like button so that you don't miss anything. Next week is Andrea Walford, and I'm sure she's going to have an awesome project for you. She's very talented, as the other 4 people on this gang. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you later. Bye!